One of the ways that we help hospitals is helping them with their regulatory compliance. And that, of course, is very, very important. You can't have a good, successful program if you're not meeting the regulatory requirements for your state, for CMS, and for whatever regulatory body you have that works for your organization. So there are a lot of things that we implement on an annual basis in order to prepare the staff and to prepare the program for regulatory compliance. One of the things that we do, which is probably the most important, is an intensive clinical audit. We do it every year. And that audit, it covers everything from the intake process, our policies and procedures, the education files for staff. We look at documentation. That's probably the largest chunk. We look at every bit of documentation that's in the record. And then we also take a look at the environment. And from there, we develop what we call a QIP. And a QIP is a continuous quality improvement plan. And so we develop that plan usually a few weeks after we've finished conducting the audit. And then from there, it gives a roadmap for the program leadership to be able to move towards making the improvements that are necessary in order to make sure that we're meeting all of those regulatory requirements. And really, it's even beyond regulatory requirements. It's really about best practices and how to achieve the best results for the patients that we work for. And so that continuous quality improvement plan, the audit, a major tool that we use to be able to guide and direct and to provide a plan in place that's going to work for that program and for that hospital. We also stay very up to date on regulatory changes. That's another thing that's excellent about working for an organization like Horizon Health that has hospitals all across the country, is somebody's always going through some kind of a survey. And we also get a lot of feedback from different organizations that have gone through the survey process in the past. And so that really helps us and guides us so that we can make a better plan that will prepare the hospital to pass those surveys. To me, it's really important for the organization to pass the survey, and not only pass the survey, but pass it without being cited for any items. But that risk assessment is looking at the environment. How do we make the environment safer and better for our patients? We also look at our policies and procedures. Are there things that we need to update? Because we're regularly updating things as we learn from different surveyors about things that they like to see in policies, things that they like to see in documentation. And so our goal is to be constantly ready. And so that's our focus, is to make sure that we're all constantly ready. And then another thing that we do it's not so much regulatory compliance, but it's really how do we have an excellent program? And that is, we expect our program leadership every year to do a best practice, something based on a need that they've identified that they want to improve on their unit. And then they develop this best practice on how they can manage it. And that way, we're providing, again, the best care that we can for our patients. It's things that regulatory bodies love to see, that kind of energy that we put into improvement and making sure that we have improvement in the care that we provide. And we also do patient satisfaction, which is an important part of all of this too. It's a way for us to measure, are our patients feeling like they're getting the care that they deserve?